Welcome to this week in Spiral Knights, another week where there hasn't been too much, but I have done some digging and I have found a little bit more pieces of information that we can scrap our fancy eyes on. So I heard mentioned that, last week we kind of took a deep dive into the forums on Spiral Knights, but another area that the moderators have started to respond a lot in are the Steam community posts, so there's discussions here. So I've kind of started going through some. I haven't clicked through a lot. It was more just to talk about the fact that the moderators of the game, like Grey Havens, are talking in these discussions here. It might be worth, if you're interested, go through and see if there's something interesting in these posts. But just a couple of examples that I found. So there was this one. Just a question: before I use escape to close any interface, open my game, inventory, loadout, supply depot. Right now it only works on this main options menu, but don't work on anything else. And then there's Spiral HQ Developer. This might be the result of some of our efforts to get the game working better on the Steam Deck. Escape was recently added to the key bindings. Check to make sure that escape is still listed there under escape/back. We'll look into what's causing escape to make an escape end not work properly. Bit of a confusing ending sentence. But it's kind of cool. And look, they even posted more. So it looks like they're helping people out. Chances of us ever getting Honor Guard set again would be great for guilds and players. We had Lady Clotho respond here. While I don't know if we could ever release those items again, I'm curious if you have any ideas for other items that could be used to encourage people to help each other reach Vanguard and what would still be thematic. I know some folks are suggesting new designs of the Honor Guard set, but are there other items we could add to the set? And then they've passed on some ideas as well. Kind of cool. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about just on the Steam, I guess, on the community there. Also, as I was digging through online to like, what else has happened this part? Is there anything else? This wasn't last week, but April 15th, I just stumbled upon this. There's a massively overpowered, it's just like, I don't know, some website, but they had an announcement post, like a news post, I guess, about Spiral Knights with their return because of that Steam post where they posted about all the changes that have happened to Spiral Knights, the major update that they listed. And so there's a little bit of a read through here as well. I just thought that was kind of cool. I just wanted to share that quickly. But if you do want to read that yourself, then you just have to pull it up. And then moving over to the Reddit, there wasn't much that I saw on the Reddit, but just a casual couple of things. Need advice? Can I get some advice? I'm trying to roll a CDR medium to match my new armor set so I can get maximum. Burned through about 600k worth of crowns. Oh god, just for a CTR medium? I'm burning out farming. That's so bad. That is tragic. General advice: it's cheaper to just buy the UVs rather than rolling, because yeah, that can happen where you just get super unlucky. I would only roll if you're like making a lot of gear with UVs. Like you kind of have to roll out the odds over a lot of rolls, if that makes sense. Like you just kind of want to mitigate that RNG as much as you can by doing more. So it's only worth it if you're like really rolling a lot on like multiple pieces of gear for multiple high tier UVs. I don't know. I don't even know if that's worth it. I think the way that merchants make money off of selling UV gear is they make a bunch of low tier gear, right? So you'll make like a bunch of 2-star brandishes. You roll UVs until you get a medium at least, or like anything like that, even an ASI low. If you get an ASI low, you list it on the auction house. So you actually sell every piece of gear that has any like decent UV on it. And then if you do that with like 20 pieces of 2-star brandishes, one of those 20 is going to be like a very high. And then that's where you get your money, selling that very high. But along the way, you're also selling all of those mediums. Whereas, let's say me as a player, if I'm just rolling for my own gear, I'm only going to roll on the one gear. And if I get like, say I have my combo star and I want very high CTR on that combo star, I'm going to roll and I'm going to go past the mediums. If I get a medium CTR, it's like, okay, cool. I'm not going to sit on it. I'm going to keep rolling. So I'm actually losing money by rolling for the very highs compared to a merchant who might be, selling those mediums along their way to getting a very high. So I think that's how they make their profit margins a little bit more. So that's kind of the difference. So it usually ends up being cheaper to just buy, even though it looks really expensive. You're like, I'm spending 1.5 million crowns to buy a CTR very high brandish, but it is cheaper to just top the price because that is, you know, they're doing the effort in of selling all the other things compared to you rolling for a piece yourself. So I think that's the logic behind it. Yeah. Construct battle sprite idea. Looks like a full detailed list of another battle sprite. I'm not going to read through that today, but looks cool. This game is great. Hope it revives. We are back down, unfortunately. Steam charts is dropping. We were so high. We were at 500. We're back to like 250 again. So people definitely popped in for the anniversary event and the Steam post, but I don't know how much that has translated into consistent players. I think we are still up a bit, and there's definitely more interest. Like even just on Twitch, I'm getting more people popping into the streams. On YouTube, I'm getting more people interacting with my YouTube videos and like posting comments. So there's people more around in the space, more people with eyes on Spiral Knights now. But I don't know if that's really bumped up our active players too much necessarily. Pin a post for community resources. Hi, can I ask for a mega thread to be pinned to the subreddit? It looks like people just link to the Haven Discord, which is fair enough. The Discords are your better source of information if you ever need anything there. Not having fun. Talk to people in Haven. I am begging you to just strike up a conversation with people in Haven. I agree with this. This afternoon, I was sitting in front of auction house and someone casually mentioned having stomach problems. Hell yeah, IBS game. So many people joined in, and that hour sitting there yapping with randoms was probably the most fun I had on the game since 2013. I love this. I 100% agree. I think like chatting in Haven is that's my blood of Spiral Knights. As much as I love doing challenge runs and all of that, like when I played Spiral Knights, it was very much for the social like community aspect. It's just nice. I love AFKing in Haven and just chatting with people. I don't really do it as much these days, but I've definitely had quite a lot of periods of time where I just used to do that all the time. Should I care about UVs right now? I have Miracle Cloak and Cow and a Spike Needle plus 4-star Arcana. As I only have 4-star gear right now, I'm currently grinding to get full Chaos. Getting them from Punch later, is that a good idea? I think it's not a good idea. I think you just get your base set, go for Chaos, Brandish. If you want CTR medium, like it would have been good to pick that up at 2-star already, so you're kind of already late for that. Otherwise, you just wait. Get your full star gear, and then you get that stuff later on. Juga Conmando. I don't know what that guy's saying. Is this game still worth playing these days? I've never seen it before, and from what I've heard online, it's pretty much dead. Rest in peace. It's definitely worth still playing, guys. There's people online. Don't believe the rumors. The game's not dead. We're alive. We're here. Anyway, that's everything that's happened this week on the Reddit. Moving over to the Discords. Nothing new in the treasure vault on Crucible. I need to check out the Crucible maps again because I think it's been a while since I've looked at them, and I think there are some new ones. I just haven't really looked. Haven. Grey Haven needs your help. Just a quick little update we wanted to send out to the community via the forums. Cleaver has made it clear that Grey Haven's team is looking for help from a skilled video editor. Me? If you think this might be you or know someone, send an email to Daniel@GreyHavens. I'm just saying that people have posted comments and like sent me notifications being like, hey, put your name in for this, or like, did you see this? I am aware of it. I don't know if I'm gonna put my name forward. I actually think like Spark of Kill, Solotron, Mad Gans, like those guys, I think they'll do an awesome job at it. Don't get me wrong, I think I will do a good job too, but I take so long with editing videos. It's a problem. And I think there's a vibe to the community of Spiral Knights, and I don't know, I'm a little bit. Is this okay? This is a bit weird. This is not really Twisk related. This is not really this week in Spiral Knights, but I do feel like I fit more on I fit in a weirder subsection of the game. Not a weirder subsection, but the community of Spiral Knights is definitely that community of like hanging out in Haven and like chatting, and there's like a very chill, relaxed vibe. I think the videos that I do and the content that I put out tends to be a lot more like challenge side of things and like that side of things, which is not really as much representative of the community. So I think if I did a video for Spiral Knights, I don't think I'm like gonna hit quite on the mark compared to people like Spark of Kill, who I think are a bit more representative of what the community is actually like, if that makes sense. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I don't know. Anyway, side tangent. No one cares. Special listings. We actually did have a lot of listings. This is longer than the past week, but we had some Raging Sealed Pauldrons, Storming Sealed Pauldrons, Frenzied Sealed Pauldrons. So they've been putting things on there. We had the Gear Halos for a while, the Volcanic Wrench. It looks like they're actually paying more attention to the supply depot, which is nice. I looked at that in the arcade, so that's why. Okay, there we go. That's all the new ones. Clockwork's prize box promotion has ended, so that's gone. All the anniversary event stuff is closed off. And that's everything that's happened on the Discord and everything that's happened this week in Spiral Knights. I hope you guys enjoyed. Shout out again, reminder, I think this Sunday is the charity stream on Jazz the Pirates charity. I'm going to put the links down on the description again. I did play a little precursor in last week on this week in Spiral Knights. Please show up if you can. Please donate if you can. I would love to see the Spiral Knights community show up and rep a little bit if you're able to. I do have a little video that will be played during that time as well. So if you want to show up, there's like a full schedule that you can find on the links, and you can pop in when my content is on there, and I'll be in the chat as well. So hopefully I can see you guys there. Anyway, that's everything in this week in Spiral Knights. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I will see you guys in next week in This Week in Spiral Knights. Catch you later.